How goes it, everyone? I am the world famous Fat Kid, and it is week 6 picks. It is time. No. After a disappointing 7-7 week 5, can I go 8-6? I want to win. Anyway, we're gonna start with bye weeks. Kansas City, the Rams, who absolutely need it, Miami Dolphins, and Minnesota Vikings. Those are the 4 teams, so we got 14 on the slate for this week. Starting with Thursday Night Football, San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks, and both teams coming off of what I would consider upsets, especially the Seahawks. Yeesh. This is a tough game because neither one are really playing up to their potential right now. But divisional games, it should be good. I'm going to cross my fingers on that one. It should be a good game. And I'm going to go with Seattle. Normally I go with San Francisco, but with the way they're playing, I think Seattle's defense can handle it. And as long as Geno does not make a lot of mistakes, Seattle should win. They have the more clear path. We'll just say that. Okay? Awesome. Then we move on to Sunday's game in London. So we're going to have that big stretch of football starting early Sunday morning. Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Chicago Bears, and Jacksonville just got their first win of the year, and Chicago just came off of a beatdown of the Panthers, which we all expected, didn't we? So Jacksonville, really good over in London, and they're doing a 2-game stretch again, where last year they went 2-0, taking on 2 really tough teams. I only remember the Bills. I don't remember who else they played. Anyway, Caleb Williams is looking a little bit better. Chicago's actually running the ball now. And the defense is playing pretty good for Chicago. So, I'm picking the Bears. Duh, Bears. I just think they have the better overall team. Jacksonville, maybe they'll get some London luck this year again, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Next, we move on to potentially the best game of the week. Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I say that, and yes, I'm going to make a little mark that I said that, because Washington playing really well, leading their division. I'll leave that there. And Baltimore kind of scraping by, maybe finding their rhythm. I doubt it, but I'm going to go with the Commanders, which this may be the first time. No, this isn't the first time. I think I've picked the Commanders. Yeah, I picked them last week, but I'm shocked how many times I've actually picked the Commanders this year. They're a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Like, let's see. Let's check my sheet. Yeah, I had them at 6-11. I believe they already have 4 wins. So, yeah. I really like what they're doing. Baltimore, they're struggling. But who knows? They're a really talented offense, really talented defense. We'll see what happens. Next, we move on to the Arizona Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers. And Arizona coming off of a big divisional win against the San Francisco 49ers. And Green Bay beating up on the hapless Rams. You know, it's in Lambeau. Like, not that that's too much of a big deal, because if it was down in the desert, I would still say the Packers win. Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison, yeah, they're doing really well. James Conner, running the ball efficiently, effectively, but I think the Packers are the better team. Like, I say that every week, and then watch, Arizona's going to come out and beat them because Green Bay has struggled with Arizona in the past. But I'm picking the Packers. It's done and over with. You can't change my mind. Then we move on to, can we just call it a firing squad? The Houston Texans and the New England Patriots, and Drake May was announced the starter for this game, and I heard Houston is third in quarterback pressures so far through the 5 weeks. Yeah, that's not. Welcome to the NFL, Drake May. Anyway, I'm taking Houston. I'm taking the Texans. Even without Nico Collins, they have plenty of playmakers. They still have Stroud behind center. I don't see a path for the Patriots to win this game. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Not in this case. Next, Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the New Orleans Saints, an NFC South showdown, and Saints won't have Derek Carr. They're kicking around the idea of starting Spencer Rattler. Yeah, I'm taking the Bucs. Maybe the new quarterback will spark something in the team and the offense, and they'll play with heart and vigor. And I think the Bucs, especially after losing the way they did to the Falcons, they're going to redouble the efforts. The offense still played really well, and I don't see that changing for the Bucs. Bucs are going to win. That's my pick. I think I already said that. Yeah. Next, Cleveland Browns taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, and Cleveland losing big to Washington. Their offense is terrible. Yeah, can't wait for Nick Chubb to get back just so that he can carry a lifeless offense. That man deserves better. But here we are. And Philly, coming off of a bye week, but let me check. I believe their last game, they lost? Yeah, they lost to Tampa Bay in a pretty embarrassing fashion. But it's a good bounce back game. Philly wins. They're taking on a team with really no offense. The defense struggling. This is a good bounce back, hey, this is who we are type game for Philly. Maybe. Who knows with them anymore? Then we move on to the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Tennessee Titans. AFC South matchup. Tennessee last had that big win on Monday night, I believe, against Miami. Yeah. Coming off of a bye week, I don't know about Will Levis, but if I were running the Titans, Mason Rudolph would start. But I'm not saying Mason Rudolph is good, but he's better than Levis. Let's make that clear. But Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco, it doesn't matter. Indianapolis gets the win. Tennessee, yes, they've got a pretty solid defense, but I don't see the offense. They're not going to be able to put up the points. Yeah, that defense is going to be able to hold for a while, but the Colts will find a crack and then exploit it. Then we move on to an AFC West matchup. I don't like either one of these. Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Denver Broncos. Chargers coming off of their bye, and are they carrying any momentum? Did they win their last game? No, because it was against Kansas City. So they at least had the bye week to prep for Denver, again, solid defense, kicked the crap out of the Raiders. That was probably a very big game for Bo Nix to get some confidence. And with that, I'm taking the Broncos. The confidence builder against a division rival. The defense is playing really well, like I just said. The Chargers, they don't have a pass game. They have a good run game, but I think Denver's going to be able to handle that. Anyway, moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, and Pittsburgh losing a very close game. You could even call it a heartbreaker to the Cowboys. And the Raiders getting stomped. I don't know if I'm picking the Raiders again this year. I'm disappointed and sad because I had such high hopes. I had them in the playoffs, thinking the defense was going to be great. Devontae Adams was going to step in and step up. Minshew was going to be mediocre. None of that has happened. Pittsburgh, really good defense. Offense is struggling mightily. Okay, maybe not mightily. There's worse struggling offenses in the league. Stop it. But I'm taking the Steelers. That defense is going to be too much. I don't even know if the Raiders are going to get into any kind of scoring position. They might get a field goal, maybe two. Although the Steelers do have a history of losing to the Raiders, at least within the last 15 or so years. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this game. That's all I'm going to say. Next, NFC South showdown. Atlanta Falcons taking on the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta, big divisional win. Carolina getting destroyed by Chicago. I'm taking the Falcons. I will not pick the Panthers this year unless they play the Titans. And even then, I don't know what I would do. I'm taking the Falcons. Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, like they're getting things done. Atlanta's defense has played fairly well. It has room for improvement, but it's also against Carolina. Carolina's terrible unless they're playing the Raiders. Next, we move on to the Detroit Lions taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Detroit coming off of their bye week. And, yes, I'm checking notes. Where are they? The win on Monday night against Seattle. So that was their last game played. But they lost a few guys due to injury. Maybe the bye week gets a couple of them back. Dallas scraping the bottom of the barrel to get some wins because, like barely beating a offensively bad Pittsburgh team. Let's see here. Dallas beating the Giants in a close game. It should not have been close. Losing to Baltimore by a lot. Losing to New Orleans by a lot. And who'd they beat? Was it Cleveland? Yeah, and then beat Cleveland. I'm going with Detroit. They have the firepower to match up and overtake the defense. I don't believe in Dak and Dowdle, whatever the running back. I mean, I don't even know if he's the starter since Zeke's back. I'm guessing he is, but CeeDee Lamb. Taking the Lions. Cowboys are just kind of barely making it, and now they're going to play a playoff team. Granted, Cleveland was too, but that was with Joe Flacco, which quarterback kind of changes things. Then we move on to Sunday Night Football. Cincinnati Bengals, New York Giants. I was curious if I was going to say Jersey, but They earned the right for New York. Cincinnati coming off of a overtime heartbreaker against Baltimore where they had the chance and McPherson just missed. And Cincinnati had the lead for a lot of that game. Whereas the Giants, they won their game. They beat Seattle. Nobody expected them to. Just like nobody expects them to win this game. And I'm right there with it. I'm picking the Bengals. The Giants, yeah, a blind squirrel finds a nut every so often too. So the Bengals are too good to lose to the Giants. Then we move on to Monday Night Football. Buffalo Bills taking on the New Jersey Jets. And yeah, Buffalo, I mean, they hung in there with Houston. They fought back. So we know that they have some grit and determination, and we know they can fight. The Jets, losing to Minnesota in a fairly convincing fashion, in my opinion. But Minnesota's also one of the only two remaining undefeated teams, coming out of nowhere. Anyway, I'm taking the Bills. The Jets just fired Robert Saleh. Rodgers looks old. He looks bad. Like he shows flashes every now and again, makes a nice pass or, just a great decision, but it's few and far between. And Josh Allen, I don't think he's going to allow another loss in a row. I think Josh Allen it may not be a dominant performance because of the Jets defense, but I still got Buffalo winning. So there you go. There's my week 6 picks for this NFL season. Let me know what you think. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Who do you have winning these games? Who do you have as the best game, as the best chance for game of the week? Anyway, till next time, I hope you have a good one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, later.